All right. So good morning, everybody. My name is Ryan Boyles from IBM. I work on the global conferences and events team. We're coming to you today to talk about the IBM Insight Conference, give you a brief first look at the conference for 2015. And I've got a couple of my colleagues here who are planning the conference, part of the leadership team. And we want to go through some of what the conference is all about, the approach to the conference for 2015, and talk about a little bit about the curriculum and the structure of the conference. This is going to be very useful for all of you that are interested in not only attending, but perhaps submitting papers to speak at the conference this year. I am the social media lead for the conference, and I'm joined today by our conference chair, Martha Moreau. So, hello, Martha.
Hey Ryan, how are you doing?
So, tell us a little bit about your role. First of all, introduce yourself and sort of tell everybody where you're video conferencing in from this morning.
You bet. So hi everybody, I'm Martha Moreau. I am the Insight Conference Manager. This will be my third year, and I am as thrilled as ever to be part of this great team. And I'm calling from Concord, Massachusetts, where it is I would say a partly cloudy, chilly day, but since there is no snow left on the ground, I am very, very happy.
Excellent. That's great to hear. I am actually at another IBM conference this week, calling in from San Diego, California, where we have the Amplify conference. And there's sort of a tie-in with Insight. I'll just briefly say that we've had lots of announcements this week around analytics, but related to the customer experience or the commerce angle, the marketing angle. But I want to introduce our next guest before we get into the discussion today. Dave Hanson, hello, welcome to the call.
Hi Ryan, how you doing?
So tell us a little bit about your role on the team, Dave, and you know what you're driving with the planning of Insight this year.
Sure, I am the Senior Marketing Manager for IBM Events, Global Events. I run the curriculum, so I essentially set up the strategy around all the breakout sessions and set up the sort of the structure of it that I'll go through here in a minute.
Great, thanks so much. All right, well, we're going to start this off simply by kicking it over to Martha to talk a bit about the conference itself, sort of what's new, maybe what's the same, and sort of what can attendees and speakers hope to get out of it.
Great. Thanks, Ryan. So our goal every year around Insight is to deliver an exceptional client experience. So what we're really going to focus on this year is both delivering new relevant content in a variety of different ways, and Dave Hanson's going to talk about that in a minute. And also we are looking to offer enhanced networking opportunities. We know those are the two key reasons why people attend Insight, and the team is working on making sure we deliver those to you. So let me back up a little bit and tell you a little bit more about the conference itself. The conference takes place in Las Vegas at the Mandalay Bay Convention Center, as we have for the past 7 or 8 years. Of course, before Insight, we were IOD. This is our second Insight. And some very high-level numbers associated with the event this year. We are targeting just over 14,000 attendees. That's about 1,500 more than we had last year. Still plenty of space in the conference center, but we expect it to be a packed house. We are looking to hold about 1,600 different types of sessions, and again, Dave is going to talk about that. In terms of the expo this year, it will be in the same place, but it will be bigger and better than ever. And we look to well over 100 different business partner sponsors, as well as a number of internal IBM sponsors as well. You'll have an opportunity there to really have tight interactions with our sponsors and other IBM subject matter experts to see what's new and to ask them deep, kind of probing questions about the new offerings this year. In terms of client and business partner stories, we know that is one of the key reasons why people come to the conference as well. They want to hear what their peers are doing. They want to hear what partners are doing. And we'll have over 500 different client and business partner stories, and you'll be able to hear about those in the regular breakout sessions, of course, in our keynotes, and then also within the expo as well. Labs, hands-on labs, we'll of course be offering those this year. As we have in the past, they get sold out very, very quickly. Check back in early August to find out about how you can sign up for those. And we'll have over 120 of the instructor-led labs this year. The other thing that we want to make sure that people are aware of is the opportunity to meet with over 400 IBM executives and subject matter experts. We have a special executive one-on-one center location this year. It'll be in a new space within the Mandalay Bay. Lots of opportunity to meet with our executives and subject matter experts, and that tool and that opportunity will be open later on in July. As we have in the past, we will have a very large, solid press and analyst contingent there who will be writing about, tweeting about, and sharing information on all of our new announcements. And then finally, for those folks who won't be able to actually attend the event, we are offering a digital live platform that people can go to called IBM Go. This will offer opportunities for folks to see general sessions and some keynotes. And I want to be really clear. This online opportunity is very, very different than coming in person. Of course, we encourage everybody to come in person, immerse themselves for a week, have an opportunity to talk to peers, talk to IBM executives, subject matter experts, and really dig into the new offerings and new content. But if somebody is unable to come, then this is a great chance for them to learn a little bit more about all Insight has to offer. And I think that's all, Ryan. What else can I answer?
Well, I'm going to, I think I'm going to give you a couple of questions here.
Excellent.
First off, I just want to reiterate that it's really easy to find out more information online about this, of course. You can go to ibm.com/insight. Yep. And there you'll find lots of the information that you and Dave are going to talk about this morning. There'll be more information added over time, of course, by my fellow colleagues. And that's where you can go to see not only registration is open now, but also the call for papers for speakers. So a question for you would be, what is sort of one of the sort of key differentiators for this conference when you think about it in terms of I don't know, the experience of attending an IBM conference on this scale.
Yep.
I think about access, but I'd love to hear, as the conference manager, really about about that value.
Yeah, and this is I'm not gonna take away from Dave's presentation, but I think the key differentiator this year really is the delivery of the content, what is being delivered, and how it's being delivered. And Dave can get into that in a minute, but we hear, and the top 3 reasons why people come to this conference is to hear about new messaging, new strategy, and new offerings, and how it can give folks a competitive edge, how it can help them beat their competitors, and how it really sets them apart. So I think that's what is kind of the main differentiator. The other piece that's very different this year is we are expanding our scope a bit around LOB and C-level attendees. And in the past, this has been a pretty deep technical conference. And let me be very clear, it will continue to be deep and technical for our IT community. You will still be able to go to sessions, attend labs, like I said, go to the expo, and learn everything you need to learn. But we are introducing new opportunities for LOB and C-level attendees to also have the chance to learn about new data and analytics offerings from IBM and to hear from their peers as well. So it's much more of a balance than we've had in the past.
That's great to hear. I mean, I've been very excited to see like the focus last year on, like you said, the practitioners, the data scientists, the developers, and now we're continuing to offer more for the leadership team, which is equally important when you think about the use of analytics across an organization.
Absolutely.
So thank you so much, Martha. I think what we'll do now is we'll kick it over to Dave. Dave's going to take us through a few slides here to give us more of a kind of a preview of how we're structuring the conference this year. what's different and what's the same, and really what's in it for everybody that will be a part of it. So Dave, go ahead and take it away, and I'll put up some slides for you to talk to.
Sure. I think I'll start by actually following up on what Martha was talking about with our differentiation, and maybe give a little bit of a history lesson for people who don't know the legacy of the show Insight. It started in 2006, actually, with a show called Information on Demand, and it was really the backbone of our software division. It included information management, and at the time, it didn't even include our analytics and content offerings. Those came a little bit later, and it's, I think, instructive to just know that over the last almost 10 years, there's been a lot of changes. And when we approached the curriculum this year, it was really with the understanding that our clients and our partners and the industry is no longer just about point solutions. It's no longer just about something, in some back room, a records management solution or some kind of, DB2 sort of backbone. It's a lot more integrated and inclusive of a lot of new topics and capabilities that I'll talk about. But if you go to the next slide, Ryan, I'll sort of show you the strategy that we started with this year. We realized that our clients were asking for more than just the point solutions, that they wanted to have very integrated enterprise level solutions that tapped into things like Twitter and some of the external data sources. So we really started from a clean slate this year in terms of the curriculum and put the client attendee first and said, how are they going to approach the event? What are the things that they're going to be looking for? They're not necessarily just going to ask, what are the DB2 sessions? What are the FileNet sessions or Cognos sessions? They're going to look at other topics and be interested in things. So we wanted to design it for need and have very identifiable entry points that were market-based, that were very descriptive and easy to understand, and also had an industry context. We also wanted to design it really well, simplify it, make sure that it retained that comprehensive portfolio that we have. I mean, it's a huge portfolio that we have under the IM software group. So what we've done then is essentially kind of de-emphasized a lot of the detailed product branding, and instead basically elevated it up into topics. And if you go to the next slide, you can kind of see just the first level of how we've introduced these topics. It first revolves around your role. We recognize too that despite the product alignment, you generally align yourself with your title, whether you're a CMO or a business analyst or some kind of technical role like a CIO. That's going to be your first lens. What we found, though, over the last several years is that the roles are blending, and especially depending on the size of the company. A business analyst might span multiple departments. They're providing insight into both maybe the legal department or in some of the back-end departments. So we want to make sure that we identify the curriculum according to roles, and so this is sort of a grouping of that. On the left side is business and industry, on the right IT and data science, and in the middle you have these emerging roles around analytics, as I mentioned, chief data officers, data scientists, and so forth. So if you go to the next slide, how this applies to the curriculum and the offerings that we're doing is we're going to obviously start out with our strategy. We'll have general sessions and keynotes and so forth. We have on the left side business and industry. We're going to have a kind of a beefed up business approach. So we'll have domain solutions around finance and risk, HR, sales and marketing, and so forth. And then find ways that we can basically apply those across the IT departments. In other words, you have roles, industry leaders who are driving these solutions. They need to have IT alignment. So we're basically doing that more in an entry-level approach. On the IT side, you have more topical approaches like advanced analytics, data and content management, integration, and so forth. We've also introduced this year some new topics around Hadoop and Spark and some of the hot topics like Internet of Things, cloud, Watson, and so forth. If you think back, I mean, even less than 10 years ago, topics like cloud were just emerging. We didn't have cloud computing like we do today. Watson, as we know it today, what didn't even exist. Internet of Things really has just emerged over the last couple of years. So these are the type of hot topics that we'll be integrating into the curriculum. So let's take a look at some of the details behind this, and maybe you get a better sense of what's included. If you go to the next slide. So same view, again, the approach is topical based, so you can easily find the area that you're interested in, and whether it's in the call for speakers that's open now, or later as you attend the event, you can basically in 1 or 2 clicks quickly get to the focus area that you need. I talked a little bit about the business side and the domain areas like operations and sales and marketing that's on the left. We also have a broad industry focus, around the top industries. So the new areas in the center around Watson, cloud, mobile, Internet of Things are very exciting. We have found that those issues are really basically span all of the domains, all of the topics. When you take data and analytics and all of the sources that we have for information, it's things like Watson, cloud, mobile, Internet of Things that are really the glue and the distribution model for that provide the analytics behind it to really drive the engine. So it's a very popular area. Our Watson cloud sessions in particular are standing room only typically, and so look for more growth around those areas. On the right side, these are our core analytics and content, data content offerings. They start on the top with our advanced analytics. This largely grew out of the Cognos portfolio for those clients who have those systems in place. Business intelligence, predictive analytics are very, very popular, some of our top sessions. We also have more specific analytics capabilities around prescriptive and performance management and content analytics. So really, we're kind of unmatched in our analytics platform. Our data and content management offerings are very much the backbone of this event. That's what started this event almost 10 years ago. Data and content management are in every company of every size. Data and content is basically really, as I said, the backbone of any company. So we have multiple offerings here, whether it's advanced case management, document imaging, data warehousing, DB2, a lot of the core capabilities here. Integration and governance is a very important topic as well. You need to manage this information once it's in your system. So that's what that's all about: maintaining the security and integration, basically, making it available once you have it. The systems and architecture and Hadoop areas are also very much a core offering for us. This too, we're going to introduce some topics around next-gen platform and some of the hybrid cloud architecture, and also some of the new Hadoop and Spark offerings that you'll see. So it's actually a very comprehensive curriculum. I think it will allow people to enter the curriculum at any spot and then go from there. It's not going to be just you arrive and you go willy-nilly to all these areas. We're going to have roadmaps and experts that sort of guide you in this process. So if you start on the left in the business side, if you're a CXO, we'll provide roadmaps that show you how you can apply this on the IT side. So I'll pause there and take a breath. Ryan, if you have any questions.
So we all need bottles of water for this. These subject matters are so close and near and dear to our hearts. As working on the conference is an incredible thing, and for me, I'm a total dev geek, and so I think a lot about analytics and Internet of Things. And most of my job at the conferences last year was doing, the social media coverage for Internet of Things, and that's been a really a topic of interest, like you said, which I'm really excited to see us, make that a prime component of the extended curriculum. I want to ask you a quick question though before we get to the bottom of the hour, and we only sort of allotted 25 minutes for this chat. We want to keep these brief for everyone that's watching, and we're going to keep on doing regular check-ins with the event team, other colleagues of ours, as well as influencers that are part of an ecosystem of thought leaders around these subjects throughout the summer. So let me ask you, Dave, though. Um, we didn't advertise this broadcast to be sort of a live chat, but we did get a few questions come in that just noticed that we were going to be talking about this today. So there are folks like in marketing or folks that are designers, people that are in these different roles, like you said. What should they think about when they submit a paper to be a speaker at Insight 2015?
Let's see. Well, the marketing and designer, I assume you're talking about what kind of design. I'm not sure what kind of designer, but it doesn't really matter. You can take those entry points, look at the topics, find out if it's more business oriented or IT oriented. Start from there. If it's really heavily industry focused, that you can go through the industry track. But if it's very specific to a certain product line, then you can kind of drill down and focus on that. Whether it's content management, whether it's information lifecycle governance. I mean, there's dozens of capabilities there if you want to drill down on a capability level. I think the real draw for the call for speakers is we want to allow clients and partners to tell a unique story, a compelling story. If they're using solutions that's really added value in their companies, we want to hear about it. These solutions, tend to be very complex, but at the end of the day, they solve some kind of business problem, and that's what we want to hear: how they've implemented and utilized the solution for their company's benefit.
That's great. I want to flash up the slide that kind of talks about the structure of some of the sessions, the keynotes, what we, touching on some of the experience like we talked about at the beginning of the chat. But when you look at things like the technical deep dives or the case studies or even the birds of a feather, talk a little bit about what does a well-formed speaker submission for some of those sessions look like for somebody that maybe has not spoken at an IBM conference before.
Right. The session types, traditionally the call for speakers is looking for the breakout sessions, those, formal sort of 60-minute classroom-style sessions. But what we're seeing increasingly at events is there are lots of opportunities to get content out there. And in fact, people prefer, shorter engagement center type activities that might be just a half an hour. Maybe there's little pop-up, stand-up sort of meet-up areas in the expo. So this is the full inventory of our session types, and those are also offered in the call for speakers. So if you don't think something is appropriate for a full breakout session, and instead is maybe more of a micro session, those are also available to you. In addition, we have lots of labs and very deep dive, technical hands-on type activities as well.
Great. All right. Well, what I want to do now is I want to kick it back to you, Martha, and just talk really briefly about. I'm going to flash up the Insight website for a moment, just so everybody gets kind of a visual locked and burned into their brains here. But talk for a minute just about some upcoming dates and sort of what folks should keep in mind. Because Insight is in October, of course, but we really, there's a lot going on. There's build up. There's obviously a lot of milestones in preparing for a conference like this. So what would you like the viewers to take away?
Yeah, thanks, Ryan. So the key thing I would like everybody to be aware of is right now we are offering our Super Saver rate. It is $700 off the standard rate, and it is available until August 3rd. So I encourage you to really take advantage of that. And the good news with that also is if you are an alum, if you've attended an event in the past 3 years, you will get another $100 off of that rate. So I encourage you. Good, thanks, Ryan. So there you go. You can see the Super Saver rate is $15.95, and again, alums get $100 off of that. So really now is the time to go in and to register. The call for speakers closes at the end of June. I'm sorry, at the end of May. Dave, don't have a cow. At the end of May. And we will alert people by the end of June. Please know it is quite a process, and we really do. Dave and his team spend a great deal of time and thought around their selections. And again, we need to make sure everybody gets their proposal in by May 29th. A couple of other dates that I want you to be aware of. After the Super Saver rate, we have an early bird rate, which ends in September. And then after that, we go to a regular standard rate. Other things that we are talking about right now with the production team are a theme for the event, along with a keynote speaker. Last year we had Kevin Spacey, and also an event host. And big announcements like that we will put up on the website as soon as they are finalized, so you can see that. I also encourage you to look back often, because we will be fleshing out the website in the next couple of weeks with more information about what Dave just talked about, information about the keynotes, and general sessions as well. So we look to update the website almost on a weekly basis, so I encourage everybody to go back and take a look often.
Great, thank you. So one thing that I'll sort of cap this all off with is the website is a great resource, and we're going to be doing these video chats. We're going to try to do them every couple of weeks. So almost as often as the website is updated, we'll be chatting with other folks on the team, other folks that are driving the development of the topics within the curriculum and things like that. Other subject matter experts, and part of the influencer program that I help lead with the marketing team. But I'd like to also just point your attention to social media. This is something where we can, answer questions. My team is sort of driving the branded presence for all of IBM's global conferences. But it's very simple. Simply use our conference hashtag IBM Insight, and you can sort of join in, see some of these announcements, as well as interact with folks on Twitter. We have a Tumblr site, which we have lots of comms that go out on. Lots of the videos are featured there. There are lots of video content from last year and from other events related to data and analytics that you can find on Tumblr, and also with that hashtag on YouTube as well. So I guess we should stop there and just sort of encourage everyone to dive into the information that we've presented. We're happy to answer questions offline. You can reach me on Twitter, of course. You can just send comments to the team directly on any of these websites. And I'm really excited about it. I think analytics is such a huge theme. It's such a huge, it touches everything. And I mean, there's been lots of discussion, like I said, this week about Watson Analytics, and with customer journey analytics. There's announcements coming out next week that there's an industry launch that's coming up around analytics that's going to touch on other industries that are really important for our clients and for our business partners. So, thank you, Martha. Thank you, Dave. And I know we'll talk on a future chat, but I appreciate you joining us today. I thank everyone for watching, and we will talk to you next time. Thank you very much.